and I'm here to show you how you can make the at-home suggested reading activities interactive. Kiddos love building and creating, so here are some ways that you can include that with a reading response activity this week. First, let me show you some of the materials I used that I had around my house. I used masking tape, scissors, markers, but you could use pencils, pens, any writing utensil. I used construction paper, which you could swap out for any material. I also used pipe cleaners, and I took two and put them together into a circle shape. You could also use yarn, string, or hula hoops. All right, so let me show you the activities that we're going to switch into interactive activities. So the first activity is a character comparison. So the at-home suggested reading activity is that your kiddo will read a book with an animal character, and then they will compare the animal character to themselves. And so we have the Venn diagram here for them to use to organize their thoughts while thinking about the comparison between themselves and the character. And on the outsides of the circles, they're going to list things that make each different from each other. And in the center, they're going to list the things that make them the same. So to help with this, I'm going to use the story, The Three Little Pigs, since that's a character story that we all know, animal story characters. And I use a piece of construction paper mostly for background here. And then this is where my pipe cleaners came in. So I used them in a circle shape to model after the Venn diagram. All right, and the next thing you could do is you could have your kiddo write the two things that make them different, two or three things, and the two things that make them the same, and then cut them out. I cut out tiny pieces of paper first, and then I laid them out. So going about this activity, I first wanted to think about, okay, well, what is something in the story, The Three Little Pigs, that is different from me? And so the first thing is that the three little pigs are little pigs. And so while doing that, I'm also thinking, if this is the key detail I'm using to explain how they're different, then how am I different from that? And I'm a person, so I put that on my side. Then I also thought about the detail how the pigs made houses out of forest materials and bricks. But my house is made out of a lot of different materials, some wood, metal, siding, some stronger materials. So that made the two stories different. And then thinking about what both myself and the Three Little Pigs have in common is that we both live in houses, so that goes in the middle. And we both can have siblings because the Three Little Pigs were brothers, and people can have siblings too. So that is one way you can take the traditional Venn diagram or organizer worksheet and turn it into something interactive. The second activity I'm going to show is for the suggested reading activity of a 5-finger retell. And a retell is a great way to check for comprehension and understanding. It's getting the kiddos to talk about the story and retell the story in their own words. You want your kiddo to include key details from the story elements, characters, setting, problem, beginning, middle, and end, and the ending or the lesson that they learned. And so to do this, I used a piece of construction paper and I traced my hand. You might want your kiddo to trace their hand, or they could trace your hand because yours is a little bigger. When I did do this model, I did make the fingers bigger than my actual fingers. This helped provide some room for me to write. Again, I'm going to use the Three Little Pigs to show you how I did the 5-finger retell. So in the center, I wrote the title. And over here for characters, the three pig brothers and Big Bad Wolf. The setting is a forest town. The problem is that the Big Bad Wolf tries to blow down the houses of the pigs to get to them. And in the beginning, the pigs build the houses. In the middle, the wolf blows 2 of them down, but the pigs get away. And in the end, the pigs trick the wolf to go down the chimney, scorching his little tail, and he takes off and they never see him again. And then I also put that this lesson has a little bit of a lesson that you might want to consider using strong building materials when building your houses. In the center, I also included a picture. You could also have them do pictures around the outside of the hand, any way that they would like. So this is the 5-finger retell. And with the Venn diagram, as well as the 5-finger retell and the next activity I'm going to show you, at any time, if you want to take a picture of this, send it to your kiddo's teacher. We would love to see what they're working on and the different ways that they're making the activities their own. The last activity I'm going to show you is with the suggested reading activity for your kiddo to read an informational text and to share 3 facts that they learned, and then we're asking them to dig a little bit deeper and think of some questions that they still have that they're curious about. And so you can see the worksheet is pretty basic. It's got the facts about, this is where you would write the topic of the informational text. The 3 facts would go here, and then at the bottom you would put your question. So I actually am going to show you this in 2 different ways you can make this interactive. The first way is by using construction paper. And so I'm going to use the book Biggest, Strongest, Fastest by Steve Jenkins. And this book is actually on our webpage also. I am reading it aloud, and so you can have your kiddo listen to the story and then do this activity with the fact web afterwards. So I use construction pieces and just kind of cut shapes out of them. And so the biggest shape I reserved for my topic. So the topic is animal records. And then you want your kiddo to think of facts that made them go wow or whoa, something maybe new that they learned that they didn't know before. So my facts were a blue whale is bigger than the largest dinosaur was. The sun jellyfish is over 200 feet long. And the electric eel gives the strongest shock. And last, to dig deeper, I was thinking, what am I still curious about? And I came up with 2. Is there an animal record for being able to sleep the longest? Or is there an animal record for being able to camouflage for the longest amount of time? So this is one way that you can turn this worksheet into something interactive. All right, I'm going to show you another way. If you happen to have popsicle sticks at home, I had the thicker popsicle sticks, but you could do this with the thinner ones as well. And this is where the masking tape came into play. So you can use the masking tape to make your popsicle sticks reusable for another interactive activity. And so you just pull a piece of tape about as long as a stick. This is important. You're going to want to fold a small tab at the end down, and then you place the tape on the stick. Once that's there, your kiddo could write the fact that they learned or the topic. And then the reason you want to leave a little bit of it folded at the end, like a little tab, is so that later, if you want to reuse this for another interactive activity, instead of trying to scratch it off, you can just pull that detail off. All right, and so just like the construction paper, I started out by putting the fact or the topic of my informational text, so animal records. Just gonna slide those up. And then I have my 3 facts again. The blue whale is bigger than the largest dinosaur. The sun jellyfish is over 200 feet long. An electric eel gives the strongest shock. And last, I have my question. Is there an animal record for being able to change colors, camouflage the best or the most? And so that is another way that you can make this worksheet interactive. Again, feel free to take pictures, send it to your child's teacher, and I hope that these ideas are something that you and your kiddo might be interested in. Take care, everybody. Stay healthy, and we hope to see you soon. Bye.